Hey guys, so welcome to our first video on stock trading strategies. And we'll be looking at the actual code you can write to actually figure out when to buy and sell stocks throughout this series. And we're going to start it off in this video with a very basic strategy. And we'll have a couple of videos on basic strategies similar to this one in the future as well. The reason I want to start with these basic stock trading strategies and not just jump into all the time series and complicated models is for a couple reasons. I want to make sure we have a foundation to build on first, rather than just scaring everyone with the math. And the second bigger reason is that if these basic strategies are working really well for us, then maybe there's no reason to use the complicated strategies at all, right? Because these are probably less computationally expensive, like they require less time to run or make a prediction, and they're more understandable. And being understandable is one of the biggest virtues of a model. If your model is super complicated, it's more difficult for you to figure out what to do next or why it's working. So if these basic strategies, which are not computationally expensive and are very understandable, are performing as good or maybe almost as good as our complicated strategies, then it's possible we should stick to these. Now, the other big thing I wanted to say before I start is that none of the strategies we'll look at in this video or any future videos are guaranteed. If anything in stock trading was guaranteed, people would be making tons of money every day. But of course, even the experts have days where they're losing lots of money because unexpected things happen. Currently, we're in one of the biggest economic shocks in recent history, which is due to the coronavirus, causing the economy to crash in a very big way. And no one could have predicted this. All people from amateurs to experts have been surprised by this and have lost a lot of money in the process. So all that is just to say that the focus of this series is not at all, and I want to emphasize not at all in order to make tons of money, is to learn strategies we might apply to better understand the behavior of these stocks. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So I have a whole video on how to import stock data using Python in just 3 or 4 lines, so I won't go into that again. We'll be looking at a couple of different stocks today to get an idea of how our strategy is performing. The first one we'll look at is Microsoft, and we'll be looking at it from 2019 until 2020 today, so 4-10. So we go ahead and get the data. Again, that is explained in a separate video, but here's the data. So we see starting in 2019 January, this is the gray bar here, and ending in April 10th, 2020, which is the last data point you see here. So these gray bars designate January 1st of the respective years. The reason there's these gaps is because there's no trading occurring on Saturdays or Sundays, or holidays sometimes. So rather than fill in these gaps, I wanted to show you the data as it is. So you see that this is the general trend of Microsoft price data. Looks like it's very healthy, going up over time. And then here's where the coronavirus effects hit and the stock crashes. So we'll see what happens in this situation. Now here is our basic buying and selling protocol for this video. As stated before, we're trying to keep it as basic as possible. So first, our buying protocol is we buy the stock if it's increasing for B consecutive days. So if B is 2, for example, let's say that we're looking at a 3-day span, and between the first and second day it increases by, let's say, 1%, and between the second and third day it increases by 2%, then our condition is met because B is 2, and we go ahead and say that is a possible day we're going to buy the stock. Now, the selling protocol is pretty much symmetric with one added caveat. We sell the stock if we're currently holding shares if this following condition is met: if the stock price is decreasing for S consecutive days. So let's say S is 2 again, and we're looking at a 3-day span. If between the first and the second day the stock price drops by 1%, and between the second and the third day the stock price drops by 0.5%, then this condition is met. And we also have to make sure that at that point we've also made a profit. So not only is this first condition met, we also need to make sure that at that price that we're planning to sell, we have made a profit from the price that we bought at before. We'll see that in action in just a moment. Now, what's the motivation for these two buying and selling rules? Well, the motivation for the first one is simply if the stock price is increasing, we think that maybe it will keep increasing, in which case this could be a good time to buy. That's the basic intuition. The selling intuition is very similar. If the stock price is decreasing for a couple days, then we think that it might keep decreasing in the future, in which case the value of our shares are decreasing, so maybe we should sell right now, assuming that we've already made a profit. So that's the intuition here. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the code. I think it's something that you can read for yourself, and I've added tons of comments to help you. But the first function we're going to look at is get buying selling days. And this basically takes in your price data B, which is, remember, the number of days you're requiring to increase before you buy, and S, which is the number of days you're requiring the stock to decrease before you possibly sell. And this basically just generates a new series, which tells us whether each day in this range, so each day between January 1st, 2019 and April 10th, 2020, is a potential buying or selling day. And the result is shown below. So I've created a new data frame with the results of that function, and we see that the only rows that I've kept are potential buying or selling days. So just a little bit of notation. I call this column buying day because it's a day that we should buy if we're not currently holding any shares. So we see that January 9th, 2019 is a buying day. And then we see that January 30th, 2019, for example, is a potential selling day. I put potential selling day here because it meets the condition of the stock price decreasing for S consecutive days, but we also have to make sure that it meets the second condition where we've made a profit when we actually start doing this stock trading. So that's why we get the data we do. So this is just the first 5 rows. We see that the dates are the index, and each row is either a buying day or a potential selling day, and we have the price of the stock on that day. And I should note that I created this based on B is equal to 3 and S is equal to 3. So again, what this means is that it's a buying day if the stock was increasing for 3 days ending on this date. It's a potential selling day if the stock was decreasing for 3 days ending on that date. So now we're going to use this data frame in order to actually carry out the stock trading process. We have this little helper function here called check cumulative percent change, which basically takes in 3 arguments: the price data, the date we bought the stock, and the potential date we're considering selling it. And it just returns true if we've made a profit by that point, and it returns false if we have not made a profit by that point. And that's important because now we can see that, let's say we bought on this day, and then we reach January 30th, 2019, and we see that, oh, this is a potential selling day, but I also have to run the data through this function to check if I've made a profit at that point. Here you can see I have, because if I bought at 102.07 and I sell at 102.81, then I have made a little bit of a profit, and therefore we can actually sell this stock on this day. So the main function here is get investing result. And again, I won't walk through each line of code, but I'll walk through all my comments and all the steps. So first we get a copy of the prices. Initially, we're not holding, so we set this Boolean holding to false, saying, hey, I'm not holding any shares right now. This function, by the way, takes in the data frame we constructed just above and your starting funds, which I think will be $10,000 for this video. So you have $10,000 available to invest starting on January 1st, 2019. Now we initialize some more variables, the current funds, we have currently 0 shares, and the last buy date, which is currently none. We also maintain a list of events so we can create a nice plot later on. Now here's the crux of the function. For each date in our data frame, so each of those dates is either a buying day or a selling day. So here's where it's a buying day. So if we're currently not holding any shares, and the current date is a buying day, then we're going to go ahead and buy. That's the basic idea of this simple stock trading strategy. What does it mean to buy? First, calculate the number of shares we can afford, just based on how much funds we have divided by the price of the stock. We increment our number of shares by that amount. We decrease our current funds because we just made a purchase of stocks. And then we set our last buy date and append this event to the events list so we can do some plotting. And of course, holding will be equal to true because now we're currently holding. Now here's the last part of the function. So otherwise, if you are currently holding, so let's say we're in a situation where we bought the stock at some point earlier, now we reach a selling day where we're currently holding, and this is a potential selling day. Of course, we run that through our check cumulative percent change helper function to make sure that we're making a profit at this point. If we are, then we go ahead and sell the stock. And what that means in terms of the program is we're going to update our current funds by how much we would get if we sold that many shares of the stock that we're holding right now. We set our current shares to 0 because in this very simple buy-sell scheme, we're basically just buying and then selling all of the shares on any given selling day. We set holding to false and we update the events list. Then we just return the percent increase from our initial amount, and then we also return the events list. So I have some print statements in here so we can better understand exactly what happened. So I ran get investing result with my data frame, said I have $10,000. And here's all the events that happened. So on January 9th, 2019, I bought 97 shares of Microsoft stock at 102 for a total purchase of $9,900. Then on January 30th, 2019, I sold all of those shares and I made this much. So we can see that there was a profit of about $72 made here. Then the next date I bought was March 1st, 2019. I sold all those shares on May 31st, 2019, and I made this much profit. It's a lot easier to see in a graph, so I'm going to show you in a graph. Here's the graphical representation of what happened. So we started our trading on January 1st, 2019. Each red dashed line is a buy. Each blue dashed line is the sell that follows it. So here we bought the stock and here we sold the stock. And you can see that since the graph is higher here than here, we made a profit. And this gray area represents times when we are holding shares of the stock because that's between a buy and a sell. We can see that, for example, here's a very large period of time where we bought over here and we didn't sell until right here, which is just when the coronavirus crash started to happen. And then we can print out the percent change. So if we print out the percent change, we see that in this period of time, our initial value of $10,000 went up by 29%. So we made $2,900 in this period. Now, one big question is what happens to this percent change if I were to fudge with the parameters a little bit? So what if I did 1, 1 instead? Now, before I run all these cells again, let's think about what this means. So remember, 3, 3 was the values of B and S. So before I was saying only buy the stock if it's increasing for 3 days consecutively, and then only sell it if it's decreasing for 3 days. Now, what's the behavior going to be like if I change these values to 1 and 1? So that means that I will buy the stock if it's increasing just between one day and the next. So I will probably buy a lot more times because it'll be easier to meet that condition. Same thing with selling. I'm going to sell the stock if it's decreasing for even 1 day. So I'm going to sell a bunch more times. So the expected result is that our graph should contain many more buying and selling events. And let's see if that's true. So I run all of it again. Indeed, we see that there's a ton of buying and selling events. It's very difficult to see exactly what's happening. But you see that each red bar and the corresponding blue bar are very close to each other. Because I basically said that the stock trading strategy is now buy even if you see the stock increasing by a little bit and sell even if you see the stock decreasing by a little bit. But the big question is what happened to our percent change? We see that before it was 29%, now it's 58%. So we see that actually our percent change went up and we made $5,800 in this period. So based on this single example we looked at so far, it seems like maybe it's better to put it at lower numbers for B and S rather than higher numbers. The rest of this video, I'm just going to look at playing around with different stocks. So let's see what happens if I use, let's say, Google stock. So Google stock in the same period looks like this, maybe a little bit more volatile. So let's see what happens at that point. So I'm going to set these numbers back to 3 and 3 and see what happens in that case. So if these numbers are 3 and 3, I make a 11% gain in that period. Now let's set those numbers to 1 and 1. So we're going to do B is equal to 1, S is equal to 1. So from 11%, we now make 15%. So it seems like this is also better to set it to lower values. Now let's do another case here. Let's pretend that we're doing the S&P 500. For those of you who aren't familiar, the S&P 500 is kind of a measure of how the economy is performing on average. It aggregates 500 diverse companies from across the economy. So the S&P 500, as we would expect, has a lower volatility because it's an average, but we see that it still, of course, shows the shock that came from the coronavirus. Now we're going to, again, set it to 3 and 3 to get a baseline. So we're going to say 3 and 3. We see that we made about, actually, negative 5% here. So we've lost money by doing 3 and 3. And we see that's because here we bought shares and we never sold them because we never met our selling condition. So we basically lost money according to where the stock price is at right now. Let's see what happens if we set that to 1 and 1, if it does any better. So if we set it to 1, 1, so we buy and sell with even 1 day of increase or decrease, we see that we've made 3%. So again, setting it to 1 and 1 instead of 3 and 3 helps us. So it seems like it's always better to set lower numbers, right? Well, not so fast. It seems like that might be true because our stocks weren't very volatile, but consider a volatile stock, like an airline stock, let's say JetBlue. Everyone knows that during this time, airlines are being hit really hard because nobody is flying or allowed to fly, so they're losing a lot of money. So if you look at an airline stock here, we see it's crazy volatile. So before it seems like it's doing some stuff, and afterwards it just crashes like crazy. Let's see what happens if I'll leave it as 1 and 1 for now, because that seems like it's the best quote unquote so far. If we set B and S to 1 and 1, and then we run all of this, we see that our percent increase is actually negative 50%, which is terrible. We don't want to be losing 50% using this strategy. What if I set one of the numbers higher? So what if I said instead B is equal to 4 and S is equal to 1? So only buy if it's increasing for 4 days, but sell even if it's decreasing for 1 day. So I basically made my buying very, very conservative. I'm only going to buy if I have strong evidence of increase, but my selling is basically saying, okay, just sell even if it's decreasing for 1 day. So if I run this, we had negative 48% before, and now we have 5% increase. So we see that this theory we had about setting these numbers lower and having a better percent change is not necessarily true. It's just that in those cases, we didn't have as volatile as a stock as we are looking at with JetBlue. So with JetBlue, because it's so volatile, and I would probably expect this is true for other airline companies as well, we see that by setting our parameters to B equals 4 and S is equal to 1, then we actually get a better behavior. And we can see that here because by setting those parameters, I basically buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here, which is right before the coronavirus crash. And then I would never buy again in this period because it's never going to be increasing for 4 days in a row during this really hard economic time. So I've said a lot in this video, and all of it was basically just to describe this very simple buying and selling strategy for stocks, because we'll be comparing every strategy that comes after this against this strategy. Because if it's not performing better than this really basic strategy, there's no point using a more complicated one. So I hope this was interesting for you guys. I'll post the code so you can play around with your own stocks and make your own judgment calls. And if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below, and like and subscribe for more videos like this. See you next time.